Welcome back to Alive and Well Community's Daily Dose, your daily dose of support. Now, throughout this time, we've had these conversations around mindfulness, and today we're going to continue to build out our mindfulness toolkit, recognizing that mindfulness is really a practice we have to continue to evolve to really ensure that we can integrate it into daily practice. And to help us do that, we've got a special guest joining us. We have Dina, who's a counselor in the Rittner School District, and she integrates mindfulness not just with her learners, but also to support staff and their well-being. So we are so excited that you're joining us. Thank you so very, very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with us. We know that your learners and families really need your support during this time, so we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule for us. So can you do a bit of a deeper introduction for us into mindfulness and how you use it as well?
Sure. So I actually am one of the counselors at a high school in the Rittner School District, and I have done professional learning opportunities for our staff members and our new teacher orientation, just to kind of help put some tools in their toolbox to practice self-care. And so I've been trained in mindfulness, and I started, I guess, about 4 or 5 years ago. And at first, it was kind of awkward and kind of strange. And I get that feedback a lot from staff and also from students that it kind of feels that way a little bit. And so I let them know the more that they practice, the more that they stay with it, the more comfortable then that it becomes. And then, of course, daily practice with mindfulness is the best way to get all of the benefits that mindfulness has to offer. And so a little bit about what mindfulness is, of course, as you probably read and heard a lot of the buzzword around mindfulness is really paying attention to your present moment. A lot of times our brains, we worry about what's in the past, what happened in the past. We worry about what's going to happen in the future, especially now during this uncertain time of the pandemic. We're constantly trying to figure out what in the world does the future look like. And so to help kind of ease some of those anxieties, some of those worries and feelings of depression, mindfulness is a great way to practice self-care technique so that you bring your attention to your present moment. And there's different techniques. I do self-guided imagery and lead people through that. I also do a body scan, which I'll do a little bit later here in just a second, and lead everybody through a little bit of mindfulness movement and then a body scan. And so mindfulness is really just helps us, if you practice on a regular basis, it will help focus. It will also help with attention, emotion regulation, so that our brains are not just going straight to that lizard brain of just reacting, but the mindfulness will kind of help us interrupt that jump to our lizard brain so that we can actually use our wizard brain so that we can respond in a more positive way in our daily actions. So that's kind of what I do. I use this also with students. Just quick mindfulness check-ins, checking in with their breathing. We do a little 2-minute beginnings in some classes where the teachers are comfortable. I also offer each Wednesday morning before school, I do a mindfulness lead, and we just kind of do some movement, and it's open to students and staff to practice together. And then we do either a guided imagery or a body scan. And so it seems to be helpful to kind of get us through the middle of the week. It seemed to work the best. And now, since the closure, of course, of school, I've been able to record some podcasts and push those out to our students, our staff, and to our parents as well as an added tool to kind of help them get through this pandemic.
Wonderful. I love hearing about all the ways that you're incorporating mindfulness and recognizing that it's an important tool for both staff and learners. So I'm wondering, is it possible for you to go ahead and lead us through a mindfulness session? Just a brief activity that you may start to do to get people warmed up and introduce them to mindfulness?
There are some technical difficulties there. I saw a swirling black screen.
So I'm not sure if that was on my end or on your end there. But I was just asking, can you go ahead and take us through a brief practice that may introduce us to mindfulness and get us involved in that practice?
Absolutely. So I'm going to move back. Right behind me, there's a mat that I have. It's just a simple yoga mat that anybody can use. Or if you have a towel, you can also practice sitting. For this particular body scan, I prefer to lay down because if I'm sitting, I might actually fall over. So I'm going to kind of go back behind me, and then we're going to do a little bit of movement, and then I'll lead us through a body scan.
Wonderful. Thank you. And for those of you joining us live or after the fact, feel free to engage as Dina walks us through this. I know I'll be here in the background engaging as well.
All right, so first we're going to start off with some movement. So finding a comfortable place to kind of sit and just kind of cross your legs. We're just going to kind of just move around in a circular motion, bending at your hips. I want you just to notice what that feels like, any tightness in your body. And we're going to switch directions, going the other way. Notice again if there's any differences in your body, if there's any tightness, aches, pains, or if you just feel a nice good stretch. All right, now coming back to center, raising our arms and taking a big deep breath in. And exhale out. And turning now. And take a big deep inhale in. And exhale out. Inhale again, and as you inhale, stretching those arms as high as you can go, opening that rib cage so that you can bring in a very deep breath. And as you exhale, go down into child's pose, resting your head on your mat, stretching your fingers just a little bit further up the mat, feeling that stretch in your back and in your hips and your legs. Staying here for just a moment. And taking a big deep inhale in, rolling your body up. And exhale out. And then inhale in, bring your arms up. And exhale out. Now putting our arms forward, tucking our toes under to downward dog. Pushing those heels into the mat as best as you can, making sure that you're paying attention to your breath, taking deep breaths in. You wiggle your neck a little bit to relax those neck muscles and let your head hang. Walk your hands towards your toes. I'm going to just hang for just a minute. Don't forget to breathe. And then big inhale in, bringing your arms all the way up over your head. And exhale out. Inhale again. And exhale out. We do a little warrior pose, just kind of get us stretched a little bit more before we settle into our body scan. You can start with either leg. One foot is in front of you. Your toes are pointing straight ahead. Your back leg, the toes are pointing to the side. So you're just going to simply kind of lunge into that position, bringing your arms up and stretching just a little bit. Taking a big deep inhale in and exhale out. And drop that front arm, dropping that front arm down to your knee, and then reaching that back hand up and over, feeling a nice, good stretch all the way down your body. Deep inhale in, and as you exhale, release out of that position. And simply switching your feet. So the opposite leg, your toes are now pointing to the front, and then your back leg is also pointing to the side, those toes. Lunging in to feel that stretch. Arms up, stretching out. Take a big deep inhale in. Holding that, feeling that stretch. And dropping your front arm down to your knee, bringing your back arm up over your head, feeling that stretch all the way down your body. Deep inhale in. And as you exhale, coming back to center. Inhale again. Exhale out. Inhale again. Exhale out. One last time. Inhale big. This time we're going to exhale all the way back down to our mat. You can either find a comfortable seated position or you can lie down on your mat. For the body scan, I like to lie down on my mat so that I don't fall over and to get the full relaxation out of the process. As you find a comfortable position, I want you to check in with your breath. I want you to notice your breath without trying to change anything. Just notice your breathing. Notice if it's shaky and shallow or if it's full and complete. Taking a big, deep inhale in. Pause. And exhale out. Inhale again. Pause. And exhale out. Continue to breathe deeply, paying attention to your breath. Notice the air as it comes through your nose, passes down the back of your throat, filling your lungs completely. And as you exhale, notice the warm air coming back up your throat, exiting through your nose. Focusing intently on our breath. Your mind begins to wander. That's okay. Without judgment and with kindness, bring your attention back to your breath. I'm going to draw your attention now to your toes and your feet. Notice the sensation in your toes. Maybe they're cool or warm, tingly. Notice the space between your toes. Moving your attention now up to your calves. As you exhale, relaxing the muscles in your calves to allow your legs just to fall as they may. Moving up your legs to your thighs, releasing any tension in the muscles in your legs as you continue to focus intently on your breathing. Bringing your attention now to your hips, feeling the gravity pull you into your mat or your chair. Relaxing just a little bit more with each exhale of your breath. Notice your lower back and your belly. Notice the rise and fall of your belly as you continue to breathe. Moving up your back to your shoulders. Notice any tension or tightness, soreness. As you inhale, imagine the oxygen going into those muscles. And as you exhale, releasing any stress or tension you may be holding in your upper back and shoulders. Allowing them just to fall away from your ears. Bringing your attention now to your arms, releasing any of that tense muscle, allowing your arms to fall as they may, noticing the slight bend of your elbows. Moving our attention now to our hands and our fingers. Notice any coolness or warmth, tingling sensations, or numbness. Imagine a space in between your fingers. Bring your attention now to your head and your neck. Feeling the sensation of gravity pulling your head a little bit more into your mat. Feeling the pressure against your head. Allowing your neck muscles to ease. Bringing your attention now to your face. Unfurrow your brow. Unclench your jaw. Allow your tongue to fall away from the roof of your mouth. Paying attention now to your entire body. I want you to recognize any muscles or areas of your body that have tensed back up. And next, inhale in to push that oxygen from your breath to those tense areas. And as you exhale, releasing any tension or stress. Feeling completely relaxed. Check in with your breath without judgment, without trying to change anything. Notice your breath. And a deep inhale in. Pause. And exhale out. I'm gonna count back from 5. And when I get to 1, I want you to feel more of a renewed energy, bringing your attention back to your surroundings. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently kind of begin to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, bringing your eyes, bring your hands together, wiping your face. And when you're ready, if you're lying down, go ahead and sit up. Thanking yourself for taking time out to practice a mindfulness moment. I hope you have a great and wonderful day.
So, thank you so very much for leading us through that. As you were about halfway through the body scan, I had to stand up because I recognized I was starting to relax a little bit too much and fall back asleep. So I had to get up. But no, it's wonderful to know that you can allow your body to relax, to fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we often recognize just how much tension we're holding on to
Mm-hmm.
at a given point, especially during this time of high intensity, during stress, while we have all of these various responsibilities with the uncertainty. And so recognizing that there are really great ways to allow our body to get that chance to just take a break, relax, and just be in the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's wonderful. So I've got a quick question for you,
Sure.
and I know that sometimes when we talk about mindfulness, people might be a little iffy or a little bit hesitant to initially engage in the practice. So how is it that you share about mindfulness and get people involved initially if mindfulness isn't part of their routine self-care toolkit?
So, of course, working with teenagers, I get that pushback quite a lot. And so, especially with some of the kiddos who feel like that it is a religious practice, when in fact mindfulness is not. And so, I just kind of have to explain to them what mindfulness is, reminding them that it's really, truly just a self care tool
Mm,
to bring their attention to their present moment and paying attention to our present is definitely something that we all need to practice because we do so frequently live either in the past or in the future. And that causes that anxiety, that worry, and, undue stress, quite honestly.
mhm.
And so if they're a little bit hesitant, I explain to them that I too was a very hesitant at the beginning of my training. And I told them it took me at least 3 good practices to even begin to feel comfortable saying, hey, like, this is feeling good. Like, it helps me feel better. Right.
Mm,
And so it is kind of awkward at the very beginning because there's a lot of silent moments. We're not used to silent moments.
yeah.
Teenagers have so much stimulus coming at them all of the time. And
Mhm.
I just encourage them just to take a break from it all. And this is one way that they can take a break. And it's so interesting because once you kind of get them to practice a couple of times, then they ask for it. Right?
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, wait a minute, we didn't get our 2 minutes of quiet," and we're just like, "Oh, okay," So which is awesome because the feedback from kids, they that tells us they need it,
Yeah.
right? And so just trying to really explain to them and help them understand. We all feel awkward in silence, but it's okay.
Yeah, and I think like one of our viewers noted that sometimes that with everything that's weighing on us right now, it's difficult to fall asleep and how this can be
Hmm.
a fantastic practice to engage in to give our bodies the opportunity to just relax and
Hmm.
really the opportunity to rejuvenate. I know we hear
Absolutely.
all the time that, you know, one of the ways we see stress and anxiety showing up is with sleeplessness or
Hmm.
interrupted sleep. So, a great way to, as one of our viewers noted, to allow our bodies to be able to just fall asleep and get that restorative, rejuvenating sleep
Mhm.
that our body's so craven and really need.
For sure.
Well, thank you so very much. I
You're
think I
welcome.
may have to rewatch this episode tonight when I'm about to go to bed to help me fall asleep, because just recognizing we don't always take stock of all the tension we're
Mhm.
holding in our body until we start to engage in those mindful movements and mindful stretches. And then with that body scan, really without judgment, allowing ourselves to
Mhm.
sleep.
Yeah.
And then, as a viewer noted, that sometimes it's awkward at first, but it's so worth doing. And
Mhm.
as you mentioned, Dina, integrating into our daily practice.
For sure.
So, Dina, I want to just say thank you so very much for joining us today. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties there, but so appreciative that you were able to join us and share this wonderful information with us. For our viewers tuning in live or after the fact, our daily challenge today is going to be to take some time to just be still and quiet and see how much your mind and body just crave sometimes just rest and
Mhm.
peace. And if you have another opportunity to engage in the practice that Dina shared with us, I encourage you to walk through it and just see how much tension your body may be holding on to in an effort to distress. Because remember, this is about being alive and well. And during this time, we all need these practices for our self care. And as always, be sure to share this daily dose of support with someone who you think could use that extra dose of support. And remember, couldn't we all use an extra dose of support during this time?
For sure.
So again, many thanks to Dina and to
Thank
our
you for having me.
oh, thank you. And for our viewers, please be sure to tune back in tomorrow for another great episode of the Daily Dose. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.